Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
We have all subscribers list, which is a parrot list, or we can say a master list, in which all the subscribers that we have in our account will be saved or will be stored in that particular list, right? This list is created by Marketing Cloud itself, and we do not play this, and we cannot. Like, you don't have any control over like deleting this list or or editing this list, which is an automated or will be used to integrate with some other SQL database to import the list. We cannot run the SQL on the list. We cannot. We can only deal with the data extension when it comes to SQL. But what we can do, we have activity called import activity. Using that activity, we can import the data into this particular list. That is possible. But that is a different, concept process. What happens is that, as per the definition, if we have a subscriber is a person who has no option to receive the communication, right? By definition, that person is called a subscriber. Now, Marketing Cloud says that whoever your subscriber is, it has to be a part of the all subscribers list. Now we have another way to create the list, that is a user-defined list. When we go to my list, I can create some user-defined list which are nothing but a subset of the all subscribers list. For example, that I create a list for for Indian customers. What I'll do, that let's say I have all the customers or all the subscribers from different countries, maybe India, USA, Canada, right? And this time I only want to target Indian customers for some campaign. What I'll do, I will not be sending the email to all the subscribers, to all the customers. What I do, I'll create my own separate list, and then there I will have only my Indian customers, and then we'll be sending the email. List is basically your kind of, a segment that you are preparing for the target audience that you can send the communication to them. Group is something that you can create. A group, we have two different type of group. One is a random group and another is a filtered group. Random group means that you want to pick some of the subscribers randomly. If you want to distribute some coupons randomly, or maybe you want to select a winner, for a campaign randomly. Whenever you don't have any defined criteria, then you go ahead with the random group. Otherwise, you want to go with the filtered group, in which we define one criteria, and based on the criteria, we pick up the reports and then put that into group. You can see over here we have list. But all these, like all subscribers list or any user-defined list or the groups, will contain the subscriber at the end of the day. Now the thing is that we can have, let's say, one subscriber, let's say subscriber ID 1001, right, in my particular list for Indian customers. But since it is subscriber, it has to be a part of all subscribers list, right? But the other way around is not true. Let's say we have one, let's say US customer. That will be part of all subscriber list, but that will not be a part of my Indian customers list, right? Or maybe there could be any chance that it is not part of any of the list. It is only a part of the all subscribers list. all subscribers is a parent and the groups and all the list are the child. Parent will have all the subscribers and the child might have or might not have the subscriber that we have in all subscribers. Now, when we talk about the subscription, the same rule applies. If you will unsubscribe from the parent, it means that is unsubscribed from all the communication. It is like you can see account level and subscription where it will be and where the subscriber will be unsubscribed from all the kind of email communications. Now if we will unsubscribe from a particular list, here the status of the subscriber is active. If I make the subscriber inactive or let's say unsubscribe for this particular list, then we will not be able to send the communication to this user using this particular list. But if I choose any other list, I mean these statuses for user-defined list are independent. In this particular list, the subscriber might have unsubscribed. In another list, the same subscriber can have status as active, which means I want to receive the communication related to, let's say, Amazon Fashion, but I don't want to receive the communication related to Amazon Electronics. Based on type of my preference or maybe based on any criteria, I might have different status for different lists. These are the child level. But on a parent level, if I unsubscribe, it means that I don't want to receive any communication. If I don't want to receive any communication, which means that for any of the lists that I'm part of, I will be unsubscribed. Got it. Thank. We have different types of sense based on the functionality, like not exactly the functionality, but the way we trigger it or the way we initiate that particular sense. Simple data exchange, we cannot see over here. But the thing is that whenever we have this system integrated or Marketing Cloud integrated with the Salesforce account, then what happens? We have Salesforce account where we have object set. If you're aware about the Salesforce CRM, we have accounts object. We have a lead opportunity right over any other customer. Now, object is nothing but a table only. We say, table like in a different way or when it comes to different environments. In Marketing Cloud, we call it as a data extension. In Salesforce, we call it as an object. The same thing, but the different names because of the different platform. Now we have the data stored in our object, which is nothing but a table. And we have, let's say, 100 records. And now what we want to do, we'll talk about the contact builder in a while. Then I'll show you how we set up the object and all. Now what we want to do, we want to pull in the data from that object and store this in our Marketing Cloud data extension because the data is present in another table, right? The way we can only store the data is in another table because the structure has to be seen. We don't need to create the data extension. What happens whenever we sync that object? We have that option in Contact Builder to sync the object. Whenever you click on the sync button that I want to sync the contact object, it means that it will create a data extension that is called a synchronized data extension for the contact object in Marketing Cloud. And it will also pull all the reports that are there in object. And then it will make the sync alive, which means that every 15 minutes it will check that whether there is any update or not. Update means that any deletion or any updation, any new record is created in that object. Whatever is there, it will check every 15 minutes and it will exactly make the same changes in our synchronized data extension. That is why it is called synchronized data extension. It means it is synced. It is synced with other objects. First of all, we have the gallery sent, but I think the account got updated to the latest version. You won't be able to see the gallery sent anymore. In the previous version, we had this gallery send. The functionality remains synced. Now it has been replaced by send flow. Now what does this do? It is used for the single send, and as the name says, it means it is going to guide us. Whenever we click on this, let me go to one of the email content. We click on the send button and it works us through the different steps that are required to send the email. The different steps, like that choose a send classification, choose the audience, and then configure the delivery and all, and then review and all these things. It is guiding us. It is walking us through all the different steps. It is working us through the different steps that are required to send the email. First of all, we have to define the properties, select audience, configure delivery, and then send. This way of sending the email is called the send flow. Earlier, we used to have the gallery send. It used to give us the same thing, but in the form of a wizard. Here we have this entire page now. It used to open this pop-up, and within the pop-up, we used to send the email. But now it is that it has been removed. Don't worry about it. Next we have is the test send. How do we make a test send? We have to go to the preview and test. Let me show you. Where do we use this send flow? When are we going to make a single send? Let's say we have a requirement from the client and they want to inform about something. Maybe there is a sale coming up. And let's say there is Diwali sale or Kismet sale. And what they want to do? They want to inform about sale to all the customers. Maybe there's a new notification that today the service will be down, or today our workers are not. Today we are on holiday or something like that. To make a single send, it will be only a one-time send. Right. We select the audience, we click on the send button, and that is done. After that, there will not be any send anymore automatically. You want to make a single send, one-time send. Then we can use this way. Otherwise, we have other ways as well that we'll talk about. Next we have the test send. Test send basically as a name, since we are going to test something. What are we testing? We are testing the email content. Why are we testing? We are testing because we want to check that the content that we are able to see on our screen will be rendered similarly on different devices or not. Let's say we have iPhone, we have Android, we have different email clients like Gmail and Outlook. And we want to make sure that it looks exactly the same as it is rendering over here. We click on the preview and test. It's not like that. If you will make a single send using the send flow, we won't be able to test it right now. If it is sent on a device or if it is sent to our email address, obviously we will be able to see whether the content is aligned or not properly. But why do we choose the test over the send flow? Because it takes less steps. It is easy to make a test send. There we need to follow the entire process. First of all, you have to choose a semi-classification and then the audience and this and that. It is a complete 4-step process. But here it is very easy. You just have to click on this and you come to this particular option. You just have to type in the email address and click on send. This way we can make a test send. And there are other options. I mean the first reason, where in this step where it will pull up the audience has been shown here, right? Audience is this one. This is the content that will be sent to the user. And when it comes to audience, we have two different options. We can type in up to 5 email addresses. It says enter up to 5 email addresses. Or if you have larger audience, then we can select a data extension. Generally, what do? We have a development team of, let's say, 2 developers or 3 developers and maybe a maximum 5 members. We generally type in the email address over here, whatever you want to test, and we can click on send. Just one thing that I want to add over here is that this is the content which is, getting previewed against the subscriber. Whenever we want to preview an email message, we have to select a subscriber. Otherwise, if you will not select a subscriber, like if I click on the cancel button, then I will not be able to see the preview. Because preview means that for this particular subscriber, what the email content looks like. It might right now doesn't have any personalization, but let's say it has a personalization called first name. Then what will happen? It will show the first name for this particular customer. For this particular customer, it will show Raj. Right. For different subscribers, it will show different preview. This works for transaction email as well, right? I mean transnational commercial. Depends on the nature of the email. That is different. Sorry. Because for transaction email, it will show different communication. Just want to see. One thing that I want to add here is that based on the preview we have generated, right? And the email address that we are typing over here, it means that we just need to send this content. We are not sending the email to this particular subscriber. The subscriber's email addresses are raj@gmail.com, right? Whenever you make the test, and the purpose of the test sent is not to communicate with the subscriber, but to test what the content looks like on different devices. We will not put the email address of the subscriber, right? We will put our email address, our developer's email address, that we can test it on our devices. What it looks like on my iPhone, on my Android, on my Google, let's say Gmail, on these things. Whenever the tracking data is generated in the backend, it will be generated against the subscriber. Marketing Cloud says that you have selected the subscriber and you're sending the email in the tracking data. It will show that you have sent this email to this particular email address. It means that you have sent this email to this particular subscriber. But the reality is that we are sending the exact content to this particular email address. This is a test send, and the purpose of the test send is to test the email content and what it looks like on different email devices. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.